Hey, Screenshot Saturday. Thanks for checking out my video here. I'll try and keep it short as it's not really a game, so to speak, and I guess there's not really too much to show, but I've been working on this for about 2 months now, kind of on and off as like a personal project, and it's gotten to a pretty cool point in the project, and I think it would be pretty awesome to show it off to people. It's Yeah, so I've started working. I was working originally on a game for for LPC, the Liberated Pixel Cup, and I kind of got distracted working on creating the engine to make the game instead of actually making the game. So I never turned it in for that, but it kind of turned into this project. And what I ended up kind of wanting to make is a very simple version. If you've used Unity 3D, you'll know it's kind of how it works. And I worked with that on a previous project, and I wanted to create like a simpler version of that in 2D, maybe like something that I could actually achieve, because I'm not like a giant team of people. But I thought it was a really cool engine, and I thought it would be neat to have something like it that I made, or just to kind of explore the work that went into creating something like that, and to see if I could make something that was kind of in a similar vein. So I've been working on that, and I'm now at the point where I'm ready to start to expose all my different classes and stuff to create the Lua bindings for the Lua API. Is the scripting. So I chose Lua as the scripting language for my entities. Like in Unity you can use JavaScript or Boo or C#, and I decided to go with Lua because I won't need to write a custom compiler or try and get a compiler going, because it can just run the script from within the program, and it's very easy to set up these bindings using the excellent LuaBind library, which turned out to be very easy to use and is what I chose. So here I have my entity module, and I have like init, update, move, draw, stuff like that. Kind of similar things to what Unity lets you do. And I just wrote these like a few days ago, so this is the first iteration of setting up the Lua bindings. But it's at a point where it's actually usable, and I have a state defined. The states are still fully in C++, so that would be like in Unity you have I forget what they're called, but the scenes. So like you have like an intro menu scene, and you have like level 1, level 2 would be like your different states, which are still fully defined in C++, but the description for what is in the scene is fully in a JSON file. So all the entities that are in the scene, all the map and stuff like this. When I get further along in the project, I plan to split out these entities. So like this first one here is my player, and like his image, his clips, any animation sequences for him, is his tag. So focus means the camera should follow him, his position, some physics properties for him, stuff like that. When I get further along, I plan to split this out into having, like, as you do in Unity, you have like a game object folder for all like your prefabs, and so this would be like a prefab entity, and it would be the player, and that would just be this JSON file that would describe the player, and then when you create your scene, you can tell it like, oh, I want like these different prefabs in my scene, just as you do in Unity. And so I have that. I have one NPC here, which I've described with this test2.lua script. So I have it print out, give it an image to load. I decided to use the factory model for taking care of memory, but that is like between the C++ side of things and the Lua side of things, as I think it's a bit easier. I'm realizing now as I look at this that I'd never free this memory. I have to add a finalization function, but yeah, still you can consider this like super pre-alpha version. So in here I load up an image. I have it, with some clips. My image is actually defined as I plan to do with the entities, and it has the clips, and it tells it this clip array that should be applied to the image. So it loads that up and it creates this image based off this file, animtest.png, animtest.json, and it will let you move it around using my input module, which is also registered. So you tell it like which modules you should use here. They're represented by an enum, so it's a little cryptic, but there will be a UI for this later on, like So what you can do then is, obviously I have it reading the arrow keys here, key up, key down, key right, key left, tell it to move around. And using that, you can get in. Here, also this is like the intro menu scene. And the buttons are also going to be scripted. So the one that's moving now is fully defined by the Lua script, and it just makes use of the physics module that I've created here, which I grab up at the start. In it, you're passed the object as well, so you can maintain a pointer to the object or any relevant values that the object has that you need to use later on in your script. Since unless you explicitly say something is local, then it's global in Lua, which turned out to be really useful for this because it makes things a lot easier. And you can see like this other one here that's blinking blue and red is the player, because I was testing some animation stuff, and you can see full entity collision across the entities. Even though he's defined in the script, he's still a real entity, and he does what you think he should do. All sort of stuff like that. I also have an editor that I'm working on. I haven't touched it for a while because I've been working on setting up the Lua stuff, but later on here in the editor would be where you're able to create new entities and place entities. So this will change. Right now you can just place map tiles and stuff like that onto a blank map of some fixed width. I hope to change that as well and make it more like tiled, where you can just place any sort of map structure without having to be limited. Like right now you're kind of constrained to this prefab map setup, but I hope to also change that. So let me know what you guys think. If you find the project interesting at all, you can follow me on GitHub. The project is full open source project. You can fork it, star it, work on it if you want to help me out. If this interests you at all, it's hopefully someone finds this interesting and bothered to watch through the whole video. But I use SDL 2.0 for rendering. JsonCPP handles the JSON file loading, which I plan to use for a lot of configuration stuff, since it's very easy to work with and it's really clear to read. And I'm using the LuaBind library to handle all of the Lua API setup stuff. So you can find me here, Twinkle Bear, at GitHub, and the project title is LPC Game. So I hope this wasn't too long. Let me know what you guys think. Thanks for watching it.